On the coastline, you can find the Japanese black pine, and in the interior, Japanese red pines grow widely. The black and red pines are classified within the same category of pine tree, but there are points of contrast between them. Japanese black pines are part of the nature symbolism embodied in Japanese culture. Even as far back as the 8th century, poetry had expressed the love of the Japanese people for this tree. It has held their love for quite a long time. It can live for 400 or even 500 years. Its colors do not change from season to season, a true evergreen. It is said the gods came from heaven and reside in the pine tree. The pine tree drawn on this No stage is a black pine. Among the pine tree bonsais, the black pine bonsai has a central role. These needles are beautifully arrayed and convey a very masculine image. Root systems give a very clear impression of strength. The rough bark of the trunk tells you of its great age. This fudo has all the attractive features which a fine black pine bonsai can have. When you look at the material, you just have to think about how you will want to shape the tree in the future. In this tree's case, I will cultivate it into an upright form. One of the branches, which grows out from the trunk to the left or right, must be cut to leave just a single branch. I think if you use this material to make a crooked tree form, then that would be the best use of it. First, decide where the front of the tree will be, and then cut away unnecessary branches. The Japanese black pine tends to have branch intersections like the spokes of a wheel, or like a T-shape intersection, which we say is like a bolt on an old-style door. Also, the joints of these branches will be thicker, like lumps. Now I'll show you which branches need to be cut. First, cut some branches where the joint forms a lump.
抑えていかなきゃいけないという点はこの点に出ておりますね。だからこの点はなぜかというと、これでもってと肥満するから、ここをなるべく枝数をまず外いとく必要があるわけですね。でこの枝を切ります。そしてなるべくここを抑制しておくわけですね。
An important point regarding branch removal is to cut the strong branches and leave the weaker ones, and thereby arrange the shape of the tree. Also, leave the branches close to the trunk so that the shape tapers. こうして抑制をしておくわけですね。で、
次も逐次いらないところを切ってみましょう。
This branch has also grown too long. If you consider the balance of this branch on the right, you need to control this one right now.
少し抑制をしておきます。次に1年でもうこれが
Now you must control this first branch from the bottom of the trunk.
まず必要でないところをこういうふうに一応切って抑制をしておきます。以上でございます。It takes 20 days to 1 month for germination to take place and for a seedling to appear. Cut the taproot and put the plant in a pot, and thereby prepare it as bonsai material. The lower part has 3 or 4 branches left, which grow in different directions, and these branches make the trunk fatter. Start arranging these lower branches from about the 4th year. This tree's basic shape should be decided at about this time. Cut the lower branches and wire the branches which angle upward. Then decide the basic form of the tree. Now the shape of the tree is very much like a bonsai. The shape of the tree is indeed bonsai in character. The trunk has become fatter. The bark on the trunk is finally mature. Now it is almost a tree worthy of exhibiting for other people to enjoy. There is an old proverb which says that a pine tree pulled up in lunar calendar February will still send down roots from wherever it lies. Therefore, the best time for replanting pine trees is from the middle of March to the beginning of April. In the fall, it is from the middle to the end of September. 大体こんなことで切ります。
A tree like this young tree needs to be replanted once every 2 years. You usually can't see the roots because they are hidden under the soil. Transplanting time is a good time to check the roots. Remove 1/3 of the old soil, and if the tree is young, cut half of the length of the roots away. The important thing to remember here is use sharp scissors and cut along a straight line across the root. Later, many small roots will grow out from these cuts. Japanese black pines have a very good root system, so think carefully about the root system and arrange the upper roots. This mixture of soil is for young trees. As it grows up, decrease the amount of sand and increase the amount of red soil. Over the drainage hole, place the insect netting and use aluminium wire to fix the tree in place. On the bottom of the pot, place the rough soil to make for good drainage. Gradually add soil of finer and finer quality from here to the top of the pot. Be sure to heap the soil higher in the middle of the pot, like a small mountain. Place the tree in the pot, and after you have a basic idea about where you want it, then push the tree slowly into the soil. After you have decided the position of the tree, then use the wire which comes up from the bottom of the pot to secure the tree. If the root is not fixed well, it won't develop very well. Please observe how to properly fasten the wire. Now you can add more soil.
どうぞ自由に回す結構ですよ。どうぞやってください。
回して腰の高いやるんですよ。
Use chopsticks to tamp down the soil and settle it. Now tap the pot to settle the soil further. the pot size is like this, the best way to water the plant after transplanting it is to put it in a bucket-like container. After transplanting, put the pot in a place which gets partial sunshine and shade. Don't add any fertilizer right away. If you make a Japanese black pine bonsai, if you leave it, the needles will grow too long in relation to the size of the tree. So now cut the needles and arrange them beautifully. To shorten the needles, you need to pinch off the buds completely. After pinching the new buds off, then the second buds appear, and then the needles will be shorter. I'd like to show you how to pinch buds in slow motion. Remove the buds completely. The right time for bud pinching is from the middle of June to the beginning of July. Mr. Suzuki pinches this fudo on July the 10th every year. Some people pinch buds at different times, spread out over 2 or 3 different days. However, Mr. Suzuki pinches the buds of this fudo all during the same day. After you pinch the buds, remove old needles and arrange their numbers. By removing the old needles, you can make short and beautiful new ones. When you remove old needles, you leave 3 to 5 of them in place. On the top of the tree, where buds are stronger, leave 3 old needles in place. In the middle of the tree, leave 4 needles. Weak buds on the lower branches should be left with 5 needles. So when you leave some old needles, you have to consider how strong the buds are. I think you could see this very well in slow motion, but remember to pinch off the old needle in the direction in which it is pointing. If you take them off in a different direction, it might hurt the tree. When buds grow, some are very strong, while some are very weak. First, pinch off the weak buds. This gives the new weak buds a growing advantage. About 2 weeks after pinching the weak buds, pinch off the strong buds. In the old days, to make needles shorter, they just gave the plant little water and very little fertilizer. However, now you give a lot of water, like this, because there is a lot of sand in the pot, and so it drains well and avoids rotting the roots. Also, give enough fertilizer all throughout the year. Before disinfection, don't forget to water the plant to moisten the soil and dampen the pot. After this, dilute a mixture of lime sulfur concentrate according to the directions, and then sprinkle this on the bonsai. If the soil is moist, this medicine won't accumulate in the soil. Also, the pot won't get dirty. This tree was cultivated in a field. Then the lowest branch on its trunk was grafted onto it. Now I will introduce you to how to do grafting on a bonsai. First, prepare the branch which will be grafted. Cut a small branch with sharp scissors. Leave about 10 needles on it and remove all others. The length of the branch is about 4 to 5 centimeters. Then, the part which will be joined must be made into a wedge shape by using a small knife. Make sure you have a very sharp knife. Then you prepare the parent stock. Decide where the branch will be grafted. Make a cut there. The angle of the cut is about 45 degrees. Next, graft the branch to the cut on the parent stock. The point here is, the branches and the parent stock's cambium layers should match up. Insert the branch into the cut in the parent stock. Now, tie up the grafting point with a vinyl rope. To be successful at grafting, you must tie the graft very securely. Next, cover it completely with a vinyl bag and moist water moss. Now water it by using a syringe. The inside of the bag should be kept moist until the graft has become complete. This bonsai was grafted. This tall bonsai had a branch graft, which will result in a twin-trunked shape in the future, after cultivating the new branch to make it thicker. When you want to make branches, or make the branches or trunk thicker, or when you want to make the whole tree more lively, then let some branches grow. After you have achieved your purpose, then cut a branch or some branches off.
仮にこういう徒長枝を一の枝が幹が細い場合は一の枝を必要でない芽をどんどん伸ばして幹を太らせる方法もあるわけでございます。その時はある程度出来上がった場合にこれを元から削除していけばやはりおのずから幹もできていくわけで、この方法はやはり枝を作ること、そして、幹を作ること、そして元気を出すこと、こういったようなことに大きく利用して効果があると思います。
It means you let the branches grow that will become victims of cutting anyway, in order to improve the arrangement of the tree's shape.
切り落としていけば本来の型ができていくわけですね。やはりこうしてみますと大体この枝の均等が取れてきたということはお分かりだと思います。これから今からこれをまだ伸ばしているとこの下の枝よりもこちらのがパッと太くなる。やはり盆栽としては不適当だから大体今の時期にこれを生産すれば順序よくこれで枝の太さもついてくるわけでございます。これを参考にしていただいたらよろしいかと思います。必要でないのを切って大体の一応の粗削りと申しますが両方しています。
After you pinch off buds, then there will be many buds to follow. In fall, many small branches will come out. Now, cut the small branches and arrange the shape of the tree. The point of importance here is to make the tips of the branches less crowded. This makes the branches look much more attractive. This Japanese black pine does not balance because the branch on the back is too big. So, let's cut it from the joint. Next, smooth out the cut by using a sharp knife. Over the cut, you place a plaster to protect it and prevent rot from setting in. In October, new needles on Japanese black pines come out. As you see, the needles that are the result of pinched buds are only 1/3 the length of the old needles. This takasago had its buds pinched to give it shorter needles. This is already very beautiful, but let's give it a finishing arrangement. Remove old needles, which were left on when the buds were pinched, as well as any dead needles. When you pinch off the needles, remember to pull them off in the direction they are pointing and leave the sheaths. To make it easier, let's look at the process in slow motion. This is the takasago before the removal of the old needles. Please compare it with this picture showing it after the final treatment. The height of this bonsai is only about 40 centimeters. However, this bonsai expresses all the attractive elements of Japanese black pine tree bonsai. This bonsai has an upright form. However, it has a wonderful root system. The stance of the tree is very exciting. The tapering shape of the trunk is very attractive. Also, the rough bark has the look of great age about it. I think this bonsai clinging to a rock is the best I have ever seen. It holds the rock with roots which realistically recreate the tree on a precipice scene in nature.